You just told me before we started recording, we think way too much about the golf swing and not enough about the golfer. What do you mean?
Swings don't break down. People do. Right. I've got a whole bunch of stuff for you. I'm sure we'll have this all come up, but people keep thinking that I got to get my swing to hold up under pressure, and which I will dispute the notion of pressure.
Okay. You need to
If
tell me
you,
more about that. We're not moving on until you tell me
yeah,
more.
okay.
What do you
If
mean
you
dispute
think
the
that there is pressure in golf, I tell my kids, the kids in Ukraine are under pressure. You're
Mm,
walking around a park waving a stick at a ball, thinking it means something. We have lost our perspective. Now,
boy.
I can see getting a higher state of interest when
Hmm.
when uh, when we get feeling a little bit jittery, but that's when you have to stop for a second. Wait. This is a game. This is we're playing a game. This is what does my daughter call it? This is first world problem. This is just not that big a deal.
Huh.
In the scheme of things. And now, being me personally, I am on the back end of my career. I'm 60 now. And it occurs to me that I was actually talking about this with one of my young ladies who she's going to get good at golf. She's just young. She's going to get good. And both her parents are doctors. I said, well, what those guys do, that's cool. They're doing something. I try to help you become a stronger person who happens to be good at golf. I try to teach you some stuff about the game and about you and how to compete more effectively, right? But what they're doing is the real deal. That is life and death. Golf just isn't. And I think if we could just be playing, and by the way, Josh, I'm speaking to myself as much as to anybody else. But
Sure.
if I can just go, wait, back off a second here. Like we're getting a little too
Mm.
excited about a game. And I spend a lot of time talking to folks. I mean, during lessons, we have, okay, how are we going to decide to handle this? And then I have, man, we can keep going for an awful long time with this, man.
Let's do it.
But all right, so look at, we know you want to play better, right? You spend way too much time trying to perfect your elbow position,
Right.
not enough time trying to put your brain in gear to score. So I call it, and I stole this. Remember, golf
Okay.
pros are egregious stealers,
Mm-hmm.
thieves,
Thieves. Mm-hmm.
thieves. Um, from the great John Wooden, basketball coach. Win every shot that is my thing. I have a book coming. Win every shot. Win stands for what's important now, and it ain't your feelings. It isn't the triple you made in the last hole. It is right here, this shot. And you have all this outside influences. I like to tell my people that thoughts are like farts. They just kind of bubble up out of nowhere, right? So, you don't have to listen to them.
And they stink. Yeah.
While you can't control your thoughts, you can take control over them, redirect, right? Redirect, Your Honor, and go, okay,
Mm.
no, I'm going this way. And it's a really big deal to have people to be aware and hopefully I'm trying to get my people to build it into their pre-shot process. I hate the word routine, by the way. I just hate it.
Okay. Okay.
Like, I need to take two waggles and two looks at the
Sure.
target. That's what people think is routine. And that's just,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the process is getting ready,
Mm.
right? Getting ready to give it your best possible shot. So what happens is, you know this, man. And so now you start to ramp up the pressure. Pressure. In quotes, folks, for those listening. You
Yeah.
ramp up the pressure. And now what's important right now has just become the future. Now you're worried about your score, worried about 80% of my business is extremely competitive. College, high school, that kind of stuff. And the coach is watching, right? And now you're not even here playing the golf. We call it the golf here, by the way, Josh. You're
The
not even playing
golf.
the golf anymore. Now you're focused over here. But what if we could get people to have such a what I call ironclad process
Mm.
that it actually distracts them from the future and the now, or in the past, and
Right.
brings them
Right.
back to, okay, what's important right now? Okay. And we go back to the issue. What is the real? Well, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna interview you. Damn it.
Yeah. Do it.
What do you think if you had to say there's one issue that's keeping people back? People now. I'll qualify this: if you're not good, you don't have a mental problem.
Right.
Right. You have to
Yeah.
have a certain skill level before you can have
Skill.
mental interference. You could just suck. Fine. But let's that aside, what
That
would you
aside.
say is the one, I'll give you 3 words max, the
Okay.
biggest thing that's holding people back?
Fear.
Man, hallelujah. Right? So what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
I tell my kids, you ever get on a roller coaster, Josh?
Hmm.
Why?
Because the thrill is fun. There's fear,
Oh,
but it's fun
oh.
fear.
So wait a minute. It's fun fear. Yeah, it scares you. That's
Yeah.
part of what makes it fun.
Yes.
Golf, people, is a roller coaster, right? And if you're going to be
Preach.
good at golf, you have to jump on with the same big grin, um, the same big grin that you would have for getting on a roller coaster. And
Hmm.
people are not doing that because what they want is they want certainty.
Right.
This is going to go my way. Now, roller coasters hardly ever crash. Sometimes they do. Golf shots crash, but people want to be certain that that's not going to happen.
Mm.
Folks, when you play golf for long enough, at some point you just go, okay, I'm going to hit bad shots. If we watched, I was just watching the replay last night
Yep.
of last night's tournament.
Yep.
Riviera. I got to go
Yeah.
play that now, of course.
Yeah. It looks awesome.
Did the guys hit poor shots?
Yes.
Yeah. It seems like the guys and girls, the girls don't seem to hit poor shots very often, but the guys hit poor shots that are equally as bad. Out of bounds, shanks, you've seen it, right? Slices in the trees. I saw, oh my gosh, it just went out of my head. Who was it? Oh, it was Sepp Straka. Just hit a sideways wedge. Like he
Mm.
missed the right bunker by another right bunker. And he
Mhm.
goes, I'm so bad at golf. Well, clearly he's not bad at golf, but those guys hit
Right.
some of the worst shots that anybody's hit. They're the same quality of awful.
Hmm.
Yes, perhaps they hit fewer of them. But what bothers me about people? How come we are so much more stricken by those bad shots than the guys who play for a living? Right?
Right.
They're just, yeah, they hate it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we got to like this thing, but I'm saying it's just happening. But I think that because we're afraid that it might not go our way, we're afraid of a big number. We're trying to not miss. What that does is let us never swing freely enough, right?
Yep.
So you're constantly tightened up, trying to not miss shots, which is, that's not getting on the roller coaster.
Right. It's getting on the roller coaster, but not kind of choosing not to enjoy it. Kind of like gripping
You know?
on tight. Kind of you're not getting the most out of it. That's how I get on a roller coaster. But the roller coaster thing is so interesting because um, you know, virtually to 100% certainty, 99% certainty that it's not going to go off the rails and crash. But the reason why you're still scared is because you think it's still possible. And that's why I'm doing this is one, just the physical aspect of it, but the psychological, this could be a disaster and scary, but I'm going to give myself to it anyway because I want the feeling. And in golf, we never say that. We never say this could be a disaster and it could go off the rails completely, but I want that. So I'm going to give myself to that feeling. We do everything we can to not let that happen. All the way down to I need to ingrain my golf swing. I need to make the ball roll end over end perfectly every single time. I need to hit every single fairway, every single green. I need to perfectly have it, course strategy perfectly laid out. So we try to like not let any of that crash happen instead of
Right.
giving ourselves to the possibility of it.
Right. So what are you thinking about before you hit? So I had one of my girls that I love very much. She
Mm.
is having a little trouble with putting. And I said to her, because I get forehead to forehead, right? What
Yeah,
is
sure.
going on in your head? And she says, well, I'm trying to get the ball to stop at the hole. This is my indoor thing at home.
Yep.
It has cool putting stuff, the Quintic overhead putt tracker.
Mm.
And I said, nope, you're lying to me. Don't lie to me. Right. And it takes her several minutes to own up
Mm.
to the idea that sometimes, because she doesn't want to admit it, but see, we got to get to the heart of the matter.
Mm.
There's a song about that sometimes just before she putts, as she's putting, don't three putt comes in.
Mm.
Avoidance of the future,
Yes.
right? So now we're not doing putting anymore because we're
Mm.
afraid of three putting. Ironically, all her putts come up short
Yeah.
and
Just
she's
holding back.
afraid of going long.
Yep.
Right? Well, okay. Let's just see if we can go a different way. Let's just see if we can put our attention in something that is useful, which means attention switching, which means your whole pre-shot process goes down to, and now I will do this the best I can, knowing that it's not going to go my way every time. Give me your best shot. Give me your best shot, knowing that it
Mm.
might not go your way, because it might not, but it might. So in case it does, let's go. If we're going down, we're going down like this, instead of going down protecting and steering.
Yes. Go
You
down
know what I
swinging.
mean? Yeah. If we're
Yes.
gonna go down, I'll tell you a story. I was teaching a guy, um, and he played on tour. It's Sean O'Hare,
Cool.
friend,
That's awesome.
and he has given me a chipping lesson. I'm in the middle. I remember it was at a Ronman Golf Club. I chipped in, right? Eighth hole, hard par three, chip in for birdie. And I go, oh no. I had the jolt of both paddles on. Have you ever had a yip? Like, whoa, right?
Mm.
Out of the,
Yes.
and I made the chip, mind you. I made it. And I was like, oh. And then I got a full on case of the yips, right?
After making a
And
chip.
yeah, think about that, right?
Never heard of
So,
that.
and I had it for probably 4 years. I
No kidding.
teach all the time. I try to play every Monday or Tuesday, but I really don't have much time to practice.
Sure. Sure.
Well, it was early training season just before the West Coast, and we're down there in Florida getting ready, and I can't chip it from me to the monitor to save my life. I'm in the divot as far as the golf ball.
Mm.
And here's trying to give me lessons, and he's just like, man, you are helpless. And so what happened was, you toss this club, you are helpless. And somebody eventually canceled a lesson, or not, actually no-showed for a lesson. And here, if you no-show for a lesson, you will never get another lesson, by the way. There's no chance. You
Yes.
no-show, you're out. You
Serious
won't even be able
players
to get on the
only.
schedule.
Yeah.
But anyway, I took my TrackMan and my video cameras to the short game area. And I put the video on. I'm like, I had no idea I was making that flaw. I was actually tilting backwards through the downswing. Never felt it. Like, never in a million years would I even have suspected I would do something so awful, right? So I started to fixing it. Now, I have not still practiced enough to ingrain it into muscle memory, which doesn't exist, folks.
Sure.
Right? But I know exactly what to do. So we're playing golf, right? We're playing golf again. And I am playing really good. But I finally short side myself on a long par three. And I got a flop shot, right, on the short side. And I would like your users to use this, or your readers, viewers to use
Yeah.
this. first thing that pops into my head, because thoughts are like farts, they bubble up out of no place, is, oh, he's going to be watching this one. Second thing, you are helpless. Third thing, yo, you know what works. Right? This is me taking control, redirect, Your Honor, taking control. If we're going down with a good move.
Yeah.
Deal. I make a deal with myself. But I have the presence of mind in the pre-shot process to let all this crap run and then take control over it. And then I hit the most beautiful flop shot, right? It got up and down. I gave it the other.
Wow.
See that one? And that was a case of, one, accepting that I'm not certain. Two, was I nervous? Yes. Right? It's not about having confidence, people. It's about having competence and then convincing yourself to do it come hell or high water. I'm going down this way, right? I wasn't comfortable. Now, I use breathing, but I don't, it's not like, oh, just trust some of the stuff that folks say. No, it's like, okay, look at this is how I'm going to go. I'm going this way and see what happens, right? And I accept, which is very hard to do, I accept that it might not go my way. My expectation is that if I execute, I'm going to be okay. Not perfect, not necessarily perfect, maybe perfect, right? Maybe not so perfect, but I accept the wide range of outcomes that are possible. I don't even worry about that. I just execute my shot to the best of my ability. And then I'm going to go on to the next shot. After that, I'm going to do that process until I run out of golf balls or holes, whichever comes first.
Hey, golfers, I just want to pop in real quick to tell you about something completely new that I've never talked about on this podcast. I am going to Ireland this summer of 2026, and I'm going with the Chasing Scratch group. It's going to be like 100 of us across for a week, and then they're doing a second week. But you're probably wondering, why the heck are you telling me about your Ireland golf trip? That's just making me jealous. Well, if you're jealous, then I've got a cool thing for you. We're the group that they are organizing the trip with is called Fairways and Fundays. And Fairways and Fundays has been named the world's best golf tour operator twice, 2 years running now. And they only run tours in Ireland. So let's put those two things together. They are the best in the world at running golf tours for groups, and they only run tours in Ireland. So do you think if you go to Ireland on a golf trip with Fairways and Fundays, you think it's going to be a good golf trip? It's probably going to be a good golf trip. So that's why I am exhilarated about is that a way to use that verb? That's why I am extremely excited about my trip to Ireland. But I just wanted to throw it out there to you. If you or anyone you know is trying to set up a golf trip and you want to make it a big one and you want to go to Ireland, I don't have the list of golf courses in front of me that are in Ireland, but they have 14 of the top 100 Golf Digest golf courses in the world. So I was surprised to know how many of the golf courses that I knew, just the name, were actually in Ireland and not in Scotland. Full disclosure, my geography is not super great, but Ireland has so many awesome golf courses, and I will know that firsthand later this year. But back to the point of what I'm telling you here is, if you or someone you know wants to set up a golf trip to Ireland, you shouldn't do it by yourself. You shouldn't do it with another group. You should do it with the world's best golf tour operator, Fairways and Fundays. And if so, email me. If you want to do that, email me, and I'm going to get you in contact with Fairways and Fundays. So reach out to me, send me an email, josh@joshnicholsgolf.com, if you or someone you know wants to do a Ireland golf trip. And who knows, I might even run one myself. I want to go on the trip first myself and see how it goes. I know it'll go great, but I just want to like experience Ireland golf first, and then maybe down the road I might organize one and open it up to the listeners of the podcast. So that would obviously also be through Fairways on Fun Days. But again, if you want to run a golf trip in Ireland, shoot me an email and I will connect you with the amazing folks at Fairways on Fun Days. So thank you to Fairways on Fun Days for being a supporter of the Mental Golf Show. Let's get back into the episode. The idea of the kind of bigger picture perspective of we're getting too bent out of shape about this. This is not as big of a deal as we're making it, and how that can inform this kind of shot by shot acceptance. How much are you thinking about, or how much would you say players should be thinking about kind of holding in mind that bigger picture? The I don't know if you saw I guess it would be the second to last shot that Bridgman hit, where he left that putt 3 feet short, seeming pretty scared. Yeah. Should he be thinking about this is kind of silly how much I'm scared right now, and I should be, this is awesome. Like, should he be thinking that in that moment, do you think?
I'd like to see him step back and smile and go, all right, hey, it's a 3-foot putt. Right? Easy be foul. I make these all day is what I do is I make these putts, and then you go right back into your normal process. But I'm telling you, if you don't interrupt the thoughts, that shot's going to go off without you, right? You're going to, right? So it is to recognize, and that's why it's so important. Obviously, Colin Morikawa, his coach has been a friend of mine for a very long time. Before Colin was born. And I went up to him and I said, you tell me what you're telling that kid. And he goes, what are you talking about? I go, well, I saw your boy at the British Open that he won. Crunch time, right? Highest level of interest. We'll call it that. You can call pressure if you insist. I'll call highest level of excitement. Right? Isn't that why we're here?
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, and I saw him just go like this. big grin on his face. I'm like, Sessinghouse, you tell me what you're telling that kid. And he goes, no way, dude.
Wow, it's a secret.
Yeah, because that is a secret. It is. What, Josh, did you ever ask a girl out, or boy?
Girl.
Were you nervous?
Yes, extremely.
Did you do it anyways?
Yes.
Some point you're going to have to ask her out, right? And it might not go your way. And some of us will just shy away from it and never ask her out, right? I chickened out with my wife the first time. Our eyes locked. We were just telling the story at dinner that night. Our eyes locked. She goes, no. I saw her and went, oh, the old Cupid heart thing is totally true.
Yeah.
And then I walked past her like this.
Ashamed.
Totally chickened out.
Yeah.
But then I chased her down and wore her out. Took 9 months. Took 9 months for her to finally agree to a date. But at some point you got to go, yes. And for me, I got shot down for 9 straight months, right? But I'm like, nope. This is where I'm heading, and it might not go my way. And we've been married for 26 years and got engaged 3 weeks after our first date.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Wow.
So 9 months and 3 weeks was our courtship, kind of.
Sure.
But it's like you have to go. You just have to. You have to see what happens. And it's okay to have it not go your way, because it won't go your way. But as long as you're holding on dearly to this has to go my way, how are you ever going to swing the golf club freely? Right? It doesn't happen. But if you go like this, I'm going to give it hell and see what happens. Because, you probably told all your folks this many times. So look at it. Number one, do you control your golf ball? Yes or no?
No.
No. Sorry. You could influence
Unfortunately.
it.
Yeah.
But you don't have control over it, or you'd never miss, for crying out loud. We wouldn't be having this.
Right.
Do you control your golf swing?
I say no.
Nope. Don't control your golf swing either. Or again, you'd never miss a golf shot,
Right.
right? Do you control your process before hitting those?
Yes.
That one you can control and take control over. Do you control the bounce on the green?
No.
Right? But no, and I could go on with things you
Yeah.
think you control. I'll save you. We think we have control over the things we don't have control over, and it tightens us up.
Yeah.
And we over control, and we do every kind. It is, but it's
Do you?
based on acceptance and expectations.
Yeah. Does this change how, or have you changed over the years how you teach or coach or instruct the swing? Because the whole idea of you can't control your swing and trying to get certainty and assurance that the shot is going to be good, so I'm going to ingrain my swing and make it really good. Has that changed over the years? Because I've heard you talk about kind of motor learning and
Uh-huh.
the learning process in general. So, but I've also heard you say you don't believe in swing positions. So, how does all of this come into someone comes into you and they're not hitting the ball well? What do you think about the golf swing in that as a factor in that?
I was just watching a couple videos from one of the summits, and in both cases, nobody asked the golfer, "Oh, what are you trying to do? What are you paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to during your golf swing?" Right? And I was like, that's a miss, right?
Pretty
Can't miss.
important question there.
Yeah, pretty important question before you start trying to change stuff. Well, in my opinion, the secret of golf is when I do this, whatever that key thing is, right? Yours is going to be different than mine, most likely. I just gave two people, a parent and a child, the exact opposite lesson in the same lesson,
Hmm.
right? People are different. So anyway,
Sure.
if I do this, I'm going to be okay-ish.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's the best I got for you, right? So for instance, now my whole golf swing is going to hit a draw, right? It might be a almost straight draw. It might be a nice draw, and it might be one hell of a draw, right? And I don't know which one's coming. And you don't either, right? Now, what I have done with my whole approach to my own personal golf swing, if you can call it that, is develop a move that eliminates a rightward double cross.
A rightward double cross. What is a rightward double cross?
That would be my draw fading.
Yes, aiming right for a draw
Yeah.
and it cuts. Yeah.
Because that's no bueno, right?
Yes.
So I was just having a discussion with one of my good buddies about Scotty Scheffler has the worst left tendency on tour.
Yes, I heard this.
However, that's not the worst. It's the best because faders actually want to miss left. They don't want the ball just going spinny to the right. They don't mind the straight ball miss that just stays in the left rough. It's the double cross that'll kill you in golf. That
Yes.
when he's going to fade a golf ball and it draws, it's off the reservation. Reload.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not a one-way miss, people. It's a one-way curve. Right. Eliminate the double cross, but understanding that the range of shots. So I was in here. I have the track band, and I was in here, and I've been working out. I got my workup stuff behind me and stuff, and getting stronger. And I did this little thing with just a 7-iron complete block practice, which is not, by the way, awful. I don't care what anybody says. Block practice works too.
Agree.
Well, anyway, my variance after a lot of shots, my path varied by 0.5 degrees. Not sucky.
That's tight.
That's Tour Pro. That's Jim Jerk. My club face variation was 0.7.
Okay.
Now that, I must have been the gods of golf are smiling on me because that's staggering consistency.
Yeah.
right? Even with that, and my variation on smash factor, which is ball speed divided by club speed. Okay. I use that because I don't know what the ball speed is supposed to be for a 7-iron. So there.
Sure. Yes.
So 0.05 ball speed. Think about how much that is.
Right.
0.05
Smash factor.
smash factor. Sorry.
Right. Is that
0.05.
variance from shot
That's
to shot
variance.
variance? Okay.
Yep. Shot variance. And the distance is changed by up to 15 yards.
No kidding.
I was like, oh my God. I should have
Can't
saved
be
the
more
whole thing for the
consistent than
video.
that. Yeah.
You can, dude, I wouldn't hope for more consistent than that. And
Yeah.
the damn ball, now they all either went straight, curve left, or curve more left.
Yes.
That's the best I got. But the front to back, this was like, oh my God. On
Yeah.
0.05 smash factor difference. Staggering, right?
Yeah.
Staggering how hard the game is. But
Yeah.
then you golfers think that you should hit every shot exactly the way you want.
Mm,
At some point, you'll give up or golf will beat it out of you, right? That you give your best effort, you're going to get some kind of outcome. You're going to, now, by the way, you could tell that I have a little emotionalness, right? So I may say something dirty.
mhm.
I might do it.
Okay.
I will do it.
Okay.
You don't have to like it, but you have to
Yeah.
accept that the variations in your outcomes are going to be way wider than you think they should be. Or like when I played mini tours, I outworked that. I shouldn't miss that golf ball like that, right? Which is, here's the problem. If I just accidentally move that golf ball a quarter inch back in my stance, I've probably just pushed it right of the green. You know what I
Changes
mean?
everything. Yeah. The
Like
smallest thing. Yeah.
you don't even know. This is why we never fix the one-off error. You don't even know if you aimed it wrong because you were too dumb to check that, right? or located the ball in the wrong spot because you were too dumb to check that because you were mostly interested in the famous golfer lament. What's wrong with my swing?
Mm.
Always comes first.
Hey, golfers, I want to pop in real quick to tell you about the divot board. So, this is really on theme for this conversation with John Dunigan because we talk a lot about making errors and the value of error in practice and the value of adapting to errors when you make them and knowing how to make proper contact with the ball and getting instant feedback on that shot. So, when it's winter time and you're practicing at home or you're practicing in the backyard, you can't get to the golf course, or they're hitting off mats at your course on the range and you need feedback on your contact. Yes, you could kind of try to feel for where you hit the ball. But if you're hitting off of a mat, then you are probably not getting great feedback. You can hit it an inch or two behind the ball. The ball will bounce up and still make good contact. I'll hit the ball high on the face all the time on a hitting mat, and it honestly feels better than if I hit it quote unquote solid. So I'm training myself to be able to hit behind the ball, and that's really bad practice. I need to at least know. It's good practice to make the mistake, but I at least need to know I'm making the mistake so I can adapt. That's where the divot board comes in. So you put a ball there in the middle, you hit it, you make contact with the divot board. All these sequins will flip over and make the exact shape of what a divot would look like. You can see where your club started making ground contact. You can see where the low point was based on the widest part of the divot, and then you can see where it stopped making ground contact. You can see the path of the divot, if it's out to in to out. You can see if you hit behind it, ahead of it. All of that being said, you can make errors in your practice and know instantly that you made an error. So I've actually got a discount for you. You can get 10% off of a divot board by going to divotboard.com/mentalgolfshow. And when you get to checkout, use the code mentalgolf10. That's just mentalgolf10 at checkout, and you can get 10% off. Again, that's divotboard.com/mentalgolfshow and use the code mentalgolf10 at checkout. Okay, let's get back into the episode. So then on the consistency thing, is it still Is it still important to try to get those numbers low to
You're
get as consistent as you can?
you're trying to mash them down,
Yeah.
no doubt about it,
Yeah.
right? You're trying to mash them down. But then here's the thing: you get out there, right? And I'm playing the golf, and my first golf ball has a lie like this,
Mm.
right? It's down here below my feet, a foot below my feet. I'm like, well, screw all that stuff I've just been practicing, right? Because this has nothing to do with that,
Yes.
except I know how to use a golf club.
Hmm.
See, that's the difference between golf swing and I know how to use the tool, right? And your brain is going to find its way around a more steady state where it looks very similar swing to swing. But man, on that club, I made probably the steepest swing you've ever seen. It would
Right.
make Scotty Scheffler's chip shot look flat, right? You know how steep that dude is, right?
Yes.
It's
It's
because
insane.
that is how you have to use the golf club in that case,
Hmm.
right? What if so rather than swing positions and all this stuff and try I heard it again this weekend. Well, I'm trying to take out the timing.
Right.
I
Yeah.
go, okay, so you got like 27 degrees of freedom up this arm, be different motion ranges, right? Got 27 more on this arm. I think we're up to 400 now. Then you got the rest of the body, right? It's a timing
Mm.
game, folks. That's
Hmm.
why you see Scotty Scheffler's swing didn't look any different, right? Timing a little bit off, and boink, he shoots 5 over in 9 holes. But shooting a million, not happy about it. I'm pretty sure we've seen him get mad. But
Yeah.
what did he do? He made a on the fly adjustment, right? 2 weeks in a row, played himself out of the tournament and played himself right back into it because I think, and I never met him before, but I like him.
Yeah.
I think he just goes, my job is to do the best I can. My kids think my job is to play my best. That's a big distinction.
Hmm.
Scotty says, do the best I can and adapt on the fly. Junior golfer, college golfer, and a lot of tour golfers say, I need to play my best every day. And I always say, well, if it was your best and you played every day, it would be your average.
Yeah. You would have a new standard to
Right.
be annoyed about. Yeah.
Right. And it'd still be best. So what if we said this? All right. I expect Joshy Nichols, my boy, got my arm around. Josh, you go out there and give it hell out there. Right? I would go out. You might have your C game today. You might have your A game today, but Tiger Woods says it was 3 times a year. So maybe we just throw that one out.
Mm.
Right? Maybe we just, rather than expecting our A game, right? Maybe we just throw that out because that's going to be the anomaly. Your B and C game is where you live. Let's figure out how to get the ball around the golf course. I'm very proud of my daughter. I love her dearly. Took 14th this week, and they haven't been on grass. And we're never apparently getting on. We had 10 inches last night. We're never going to get on grass. I keep telling my students golf is postponed till June. Anyway,
Let's hope not.
yeah, she calls me and she goes, I have no effing idea where this ball's going right now. And she shot a 74.
Hmm.
That
That,
is,
that's high
I will
standards.
get this damn thing around this golf course one way or the other.
Yes. Right. She's
Right?
got a good relationship with that
Right. Instead of
uncertainty.
expecting and then completely panicking, you know, it'd be interesting if there was some way that I could force, like with our practice coach golf app, if I
Yeah.
could force you to miss every shot, right? And go shoot the lowest you can anyways. Like there is a section there in this encore scrimmage called coach's choice where I would take
Mm.
people, I'd throw the ball wherever I want.
Yes.
I did that. Let's see, I was having a high school training camp, and at the end of the 9 holes, coach's choice, I said, "You guys have fun?" Like, yeah, it's really cool. I go, hmm. Had you hit the balls into the places where I put you in, would you have had fun? And one of the boys goes, Ooh,
Exactly.
right. What's the
Huh.
difference?
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Expectations. The difference.
Right. Kind of saying, I this game is about like literally the coach's choice game. This game is about being in terrible positions, but yet when we go to the golf course and it's our own game we're playing and we're quote unquote in control now, uh, this game is no longer about challenges. That's
This,
crazy.
it's crazy, isn't it? Right? It's what if we just jump in there, go, all right, I am naked before the world. Let's see what happens.
Mm.
That's part of my favorite things is just go, okay, let's just see what happens.
Let's see what happens is huge. Is that's
Yeah.
such a powerful mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of I have to or I can't.
It needs to go
Those are
this
the
way.
things
Yeah.
that are
Mm.
absolutely killing people. I have to. I should never. Right? I should never. I need to. Or how about shut up, hit the effing ball, right?
Huh.
Just hit your shot, right? Take your shot, ask her out, right?
Yeah.
See what happens.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Why? If when we get out to the golf course, kind of all the practice goes out the window, and I'm using that too broadly. You're probably already saying, well, not all the practice goes out because there is value for practice. That's your whole app, right? But um, why do we? Why should we practice off of the golf course if the only like it resembles nothing that the golf course gives us? Why? What do you think about that?
I think that you suck at practice. So
Yeah.
what we're
Okay.
doing is we're not practicing in a way that transfers to the golf course. Well, so Will Woo and I created this whole practice coach golf
Mm.
app. It is not easy. One of my younger girls yesterday goes, "That's hard drill." I go, "Well, it's hard game, right?
Welcome to golf.
Right. But everybody wants to take it easy, right? Everybody wants the practice to go beautifully. And one of my kids wrestles. I'm like, that's golf. Golf is
Mm.
wrestling. But thank God nobody tries to push my face in.
Yes.
Um, we're expecting things that don't come. We train for something that never shows up, right?
Yeah.
Now, and I just said a little bit ago that block practice is good if it's in a controlled setting and it's used as far as some block, some mini, some
Yes.
more golf course. So, right, that's the practice schedule. That's it's not that hard. But for instance, here we are doing the folks from TrackMan were sitting right there when we designed the performance center.
Cool.
Right. So yesterday I'm doing performance center, and I film my girl is getting recruited for college and stuff. Very cool. And I filmed her I was like this. She didn't know it. Her dad thinks I'm on the Instagram,
Yeah.
and I'm filming her like this so she can't see it. Nothing remotely close to what she would do on a golf course.
Right.
So then I said, "Hey, will you film me?" And so she filmed me, and I go, "Okay, would you just go look at those two videos, see which looks like golf and which doesn't look like anything like golf?"
Hmm.
And of course, she gives me that nervous laugh. I go, "Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want this stuff to transfer, what happens is so you organize all of this practice usually in a very poor state, right? You're just not practicing correctly. Like we're going to putt 10 foot on a string line for an hour.
Yeah. You're gonna
Come
use
on,
your string
wait,
line on the golf course on a
right?
straight
All the
flat putt
time.
every time.
Wait, hey, wait. Let me get my level for this.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
you spend all this time working, and this is a more golf-ish. There's a little bit of weight on there because you've got the strokes gained. You got your short side misses, and the coach going, "Did you just miss a green with a wedge?"
Right.
Well, I go, so we're in performance mode, and do your pre-shot process on the golf course? She goes, oh yes. I went on the golf course. I go, cool. So you're spending all this loads of time at practice. We probably practice way longer than we play, right? In golf,
Mm,
most
mm,
people. And then you go out into a tournament condition and decide to do the whole thing differently. Is that what I just
right.
heard? You know, so it makes it very clear, but it's like, I got to get more reps. No, no. You have to have appropriate reps, right? In the right order, right? Right process where you're constantly going. And I showed her. So, and now I am a little bit cheating because I've done it a few hundred times. I go, I'm going to swing this golf club 50 miles an hour and I'm going to carry it 50 yards. I hit it 50.0 miles an hour. I
Mm,
carried it 51 yards, so I was off. But it's like,
it's pretty good.
that's why you practice, because we're trying to go, when I do this, I'm going to be okay-ish, right? When I do this, this golf club should go 50 miles an hour because that's one of the things that creates a distance, right? Then we know it's launch angle, centerness of hit, dynamic loft. Yeah, we know that, right? Okay, fine. But now we have a way of going, okay, here's my hypothesis, right? And what do you do with a hypothesis?
Test it.
You test it. Now, a lot of people do the review, right, before the test,
Hmm.
meaning they hit it wrong once. Oh, how many times do I hear that day? Let me do that again. Like, no,
Yes.
no.
Let me
You
hit
have
a
to
good
get it
one.
right the first time, ish, right? But people don't train for that. They train like they have 100 tries at hitting a 50-yard shot on the carry. And there is a utility for that. If you don't know how to carry a ball 50 yards, there's a utility for that. But damn, if you think that's golf, you have lost your mind, right? So now we try to get it right. I hypothesize this might do it. I ain't sure, right? I ain't sure. I'm going to go with my best. Let's see what happens. Take that to drive. Um, yeah. So accordingly to my lunacy, I call it a drive shot, not a driver swing.
Drive shot.
You got a flop shot, right?
Yeah.
You got a bump and
Iron
run.
shot.
Are they the
Yeah.
same? You
No,
got an
no,
approach
no.
shot, right? You got a low approach shot. You've got a low fade approach shot. And you don't have to have, by the way, man, you don't have to have all 9 shots, folks.
9? Okay.
The
No,
9 shot
not 9. Okay.
Tiger Woods thing, that's chaos for
Yeah.
99.9% of people in the world. That makes you worse, not better.
Yes.
Well, just consider them shots that are different. So as part of it is my theory about golf club design. The driver's got a right tendency to it, hard right tendency,
Hmm.
right? The length of the club, how far the center of mass is away from the grip end, how far the center of mass of the head itself is from the shaft,
Mhm.
the droop effect, the club drooping
Yes.
downward, coming into. There's 3 rights and no lefts.
Hmm.
I think the only left I can think of so far is, without an adjustment, is they have their upright lie angles.
Right.
And they're upright. That's the only thing. That's 1 left and 3 rights. Ball's going right, Rossi.
Mm.
The irons have an extreme left tendency. Houston, we have a problem. Your iron feel is different from your drive feel. So let's call it a approach shot and a drive shot.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? So I have some ideas. John, if you can loan me a couple $1,000,000 so I can go to like a foundry and build some golf clubs, it'd be really cool. I swear to God, I'm going to get a 3D printer at some point.
Yeah.
But it's
Do
very
some Bryson
interesting.
stuff. Yeah.
But now, instead of that, what if you're out there just trying to make the same swing with your approach shot and your drive shot?
Yeah. Different
It's
results.
interesting. Yeah. It could be completely. Back in the day, I don't know if you were even born yet. We used to say stuff like, oh man, he's just a great iron player and he's just a great driver,
Yeah.
right? Because their swing mechanics did very much
Favor.
align
Yeah.
with that, right?
Yes.
Well, but what if we went, okay, it's not a golf swing. That's my approach shot. and this is my drive. And I kept them separate.
Yeah,
Might help.
you go kind of into a different mentality. I'm
Yep.
about to hit a tee shot or a drive shot.
Yeah.
I'm no longer in iron mode. I'm in driver mode. Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? Rather than just beating your head against the wall trying to make the same swing on
Hmm.
two. Think about this. Think about this. If the golfers out there, the low point is 6 inches different between a drive shot and an approach shot, maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yes.
So
Behind the
that's
ball,
a
ahead of the ball.
whole.
Yeah.
And it's not just setup. It's not
Yeah.
just set because of the right tendency of the driver. Right?
Mm. Mm.
Very to me, it's very interesting. So now you train the stuff up, and now what you have done is you have put in this cabinet, you've put your approach shot, right? In this cabinet, you put your drive shot, and now you practice them. And now you have a certain degree of block practice, maybe even mini blocks. There's an app for that. Then you start to shift quicker, but you're always using the priming. See, I said this yesterday. I know how to do this. Like your brain, cognitive understanding, you know what to do. Only problem is you're not priming the feel of it before you do it, right? So what happens is people have nothing to hang their hat on, right?
Right.
Like a kid yesterday. Okay, and because I'm a fun guy, I go 60 yards, one chance, right? Because we're working on a wedge. There's a kid who destroys the golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
60-yard shot. He's going to drive it down there frequently,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And he hits it 89 yards.
Ooh.
I go,
Dead.
son, that's the
It's
worst
a
shot I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
that's a bogey at best.
Yeah, that ball's in the pool, right?
Oh goodness. Yeah.
So then we go and we start to talk about the calibration, right? How do you calibrate swing size? How do you calibrate the acceleration, right? And how do you feel that in advance before you jack it up the first time,
Mm.
right? And then he started to kind of get it, right? And we stuck to 60 for a bit. Started getting a feel of this is the force I'm going to use for my distance wedge shot. And then we start to lengthen the backswing, right? Shorten the backswing and hit different ranges, right? So it was beautiful. That kid is going to be so much better because he's got a launch monitor at home, and he will actually, if as long as he sticks with the program of the how-to, he'll get so much better because he'll identify the feel so that he can get it right the first time.
Mm.
Think about that. No redos. I can't tell you how often people want redos. It's funny. We're doing here, and I got the whole Quinted overhead putt tracker, and okay, you got a 4-foot putt breaking on a 3%. What do you got? Right? And they'll do their thing, and they'll miss by like this far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me do that again. Like, no, next putt. Next putt.
Yes.
You can possibly go back there and go, okay, review it, but you're not going to putt it again. You can review, okay, I missed something there, right? Was it speed? Was it you picked the wrong line, right? Did you get the read correct? And then we'll just go around and not, you can process, post-processing is very, very, very good. But people are skipping the pre-process,
Yeah.
right? That pre-process might be where the magic is, right? Because that's where you get to confirm your hypothesis, right?
Yes.
Fixing the previous shot only fixes the previous shot. Confirming in advance, ooh, when I do this, it's going to be darn good enough to play good golf, right? But then you're going to run me the perfection, right? Then, like I tell kid, okay, and I think I have this 100% correct. I think I do. What distance, what shot length does a tour average 10 feet from the hole? Is it rough or fairway? How far are they away from the hole where they average 10 feet?
That's got to be like 40 yards
Yeah, I
or
think it's
even less.
25.
25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
think I hit my 125-yard shot to 20 feet. I suck at golf. My swing sucks. Like, well, no, you just suck at understanding golf. You don't suck at
Mm,
golf, right? And then using this now, this is years of. So the first thing I did is I built a test center in TrackMan, right? And I have all these individual tests. And what I found through tracking this, the frequency with which my students at the Division 1 level, +5 handicap people, +4, +3, hit a golf ball inside 10 feet, very seldom. Inside 20 feet is very good. And
hmm.
guess what? You might hit two or three, one or two inside 10 feet. And that's why, by the way, quick cheat, 15 footers shall now go past the cup 1 to 2 feet. We
Hmm.
don't hit enough balls. The number of balls hit to 10 feet versus 15 feet, staggering the increase. Like
Sure.
I look at this stuff most days. It is amazing. So 15 footers, we have a 0% short rate, right?
Hmm.
Even, but look at a 3-putt downhill. Go, yeah, but fact is, statistically, you don't miss any 3-footers anyways,
Hmm.
right? And if you hit it more than 3 feet past, it can't go in anyways, folks. Right? That's not 1 to 2 feet past.
Yeah. Right. That was a bad putt in the first place. Yeah.
So I'm
Hmm.
trying to change how people look at the game. Practice, how to look at it from a mental approach.
Does this, maybe for lack of a better term, does this kind of throw under the bus like 95% of golf coaches and instructors? The stuff you're
No,
talking about?
no.
No?
I'll tell you the first thing, it drives me nuts when some of my own buddies will say something to other golf coaches. Dude, I just work a lot, man. I'm
Mm,
not watching what other coaches teach.
yeah. Yeah.
And if Josh, if you watch me on a one lesson basis, or if I put up a thing on Instagram or something like that, YouTube, you could absolutely destroy me. Say that's and because I'll use stuff that I know is actually wrong,
Hmm.
but it works on that dude,
Yes. Right.
right? I don't care about being wrong. I care about that guy
Mm-hmm.
having more fun playing golf, hitting better shots. So we could tear each other up all of
Yeah.
the time, right? All the time.
Hmm.
Everybody out there has got something good to say, right? Everybody out there. I will say
Yeah.
the thing that I'm not nuts on is the overemphasis on pure swing mechanics,
Yes.
right? And I just don't think that you can tell people that if you had this 2 degrees more closed at, there's a lot of movement in a golf swing, man. There's a
Mm,
lot. So, trying to perfect this, you know Mark Blackburn.
uh-huh.
He's a friend and he's a very good guy. And he constantly recommends Will and I have a skill coaching alliance program for coaches. And he constantly recommends it. So I thank you, Mark. You're awesome. But I didn't get to ask the question when he was talking at the PGA show. I, I was going to go like this, tongue in cheek. Why haven't you fixed that Matt Fitzpatrick's backswing? He's way too inside, man. You can't play golf from there.
Yep.
And and he did not catch that it was tongue in cheek at first. But he goes like, actually, it turns out to be a really, really good way to hit a fade.
Hmm.
Right? Now
Hmm.
that is a world-class coach.
Yeah.
Right? He could take all these colors in the palette and add a little bit of white, a little bit of black,
Yep.
and help any golfer on the planet without a preconceived idea of this is the only way to swing. Right? That's
Hmm.
so he is
Yep.
like got into an art form. It's really, really cool. That's what I think. I think when you understand the way everything fits together, and you can actually run with a person's pattern that is extremely good and make it a little gooder, we call that here.
Yes.
You got some.
It's more important to know how to use a golf club than know how to swing, I guess, or swing well.
Yeah. There are certain elements that every golf coach in the world can help you with. Hey, you know what? You have no rotation in the backswing. From there, you've just got to swing super steep, or it's going to be all hands. And we go, hey, all right, wait, let's try this. Let's try this.
Mm,
We're going to turn your belt buckle back toward point at your right shoe and see if that lets the whole thing turn. And then you might go, yeah, but it's not supposed to work that way. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Doesn't matter. Right. I got
Doesn't
you.
matter. The guy's got a bigger windup. He hits the inside of the ball. He can finally hit his driver. He could only hit a wedge and a 9-iron before that, right?
Hmm.
That is absolutely like knowing the mechanics. So I am, what is this? Swing Catalyst. I love these people. I'm an
Mm.
ambassador for them, which is the
Mm.
3D force plate I have, and ambassador for K-Vest. Like
Hmm.
behind that curtain is two different motion analysis systems. Like I'm heavy into that, and like the forces and torques at the golf club and the feet and the mechanics of how the body moves. Right, that stuff is terribly important.
Huh.
Terribly important. But I feel like that ain't the end of it.
Yeah.
Right? You've seen plenty of guys with gorgeous golf swings shoot 80. Like, how can you shoot 80 with that golf swing? Well,
Quit
maybe
talking
because
about
it
me
ain't
like
the
that.
golf swing.
Stop it. You're attacking me personally. uh I don't this what we've talked about today is I don't know. I feel I feel like I have more questions than answers, and that's a good thing. So the big takeaways that I can leave with is it's okay, or let's see what happens. You're gonna be okay. Let's get it to where the shot will be okay-ish. It doesn't perfect consistency. One doesn't exist, but also doesn't actually predict where the ball goes. There's no certainty. It's better to know how to use a golf club than for it to be correct. Errors are good. Making mistakes is a good thing.
Essential
You don't have to
signpost.
say
Essential
again?
signpost for the brain
Yeah.
to learn from. If you're
Yes,
not
errors.
making errors, you might not be practicing well enough.
You're probably not playing golf, right? You're doing something else.
Yeah. And when have you ever hit the ball perfectly for an entire round of golf?
Never.
Why do you expect it's going to happen today?
Yeah, why do you try to make your practice session that way? And
Right.
because of ego or something, right? Because you like ease,
Yeah,
right?
boy, I think golfers are uniformly soft. Right, we're soft, including me,
Yes.
very soft. You need,
Yes.
you need to wrestle, right? You need
Mm,
to see what it's like to really struggle, and we have to admit that golf is a struggle, and
mm,
stop. And I think some of here's no whole nother episode. I think some of our parents are trying to remove every struggle from their kids, and man, that is setting them up for an ass whooping from
yeah.
life, not just golf.
Mm. That one is so hard. And yes, that is an entire another episode. And there's probably whole other genres. I know there are genres of podcasts about parenting and how that is a flaw of parenting. And oh man, goodness, I'm in the middle of learning that myself. I got a 3-year-old, and so and a 6-month-old, but we're in the middle of like, we don't want him to fail or feel pain ever because he's this precious little guy. But I know how valuable it is. And
Man, I feel you,
mm,
brother. It is so hard as a parent to not let that kid fall over. It is
mm,
so hard. You want to give them. I guess if we're going to be good parents, you got. That's why I love golf. Right. The one thing I love about golf is that it is just giving us relentless opportunities to fail on a shot by shot basis, and then come back and fail
yes.
and come back. You know, the amount of times that my own kid has, the best one, she 185 yards, water up the right hand side, hybrid club, and she hits it. It hits the fringe, boink in the water. Like, oh, and now dad is a little angry,
Mm,
except he can't get angry now because she's been trained that that ball goes left, right? Mr. Green left. I don't care. You got rough left, water right. It's hard to swim
left.
and swing at the same time. So so she hits it and makes a debacle. She makes a triple out
Mm,
of it. And I go, No problem. Get right back on. Because I don't know. And I asked her the round. I did ask her, where were you trying to hit that? She said, I was trying to hit left. Good. Because you miss. Sorry. What a rotten time to miss. And she didn't even miss by much. She hit the fringe. Anyway, the next hole, she hits a driver 7,000 yards. And she goes, Hulk smash, Dad. She hits it up there to about 10 feet, makes birdie. And I go, and I use the whole word, but I'll save your people. I go, Dunigan. She's walking off the green. I go, you are effing relentless. That's what I love about you the most. That is my prize right there. If I can get people to just keep coming, right? Just keep going. Whatever you shoot. But you're just going to give it hell till we're done. And that's, but maybe that's a good place to end on. That's what I'm really looking for.
Go down swinging. That's one I forgot. That one is so awesome. Okay. John Dunigan. Man, I know you, you're awesome. And I knew this was going to be awesome, but I did not know it was going to be this awesome. You brought the heat. So what, let's see, we've got the app, we've got, the Alliance. Tell people where you want to send them.
Okay. So the Practice Coach app, Will Wu, PhD in motor learning, works Olympic medalists, right? PGA Tour winners.
The actual smart guy among all of us.
The actual smart guy, but I've got better hair. He's a great guy. I love him like a brother. But he and I started out with this Skilled Coaching Alliance, which is a program for golf coaches to blend motor learning science, so they have some evidence-based methods with my 44 years of coaching experience, right? So that was great. We decided we have to get after the people who are playing because they don't practice well. They practice usually very not well. And what that does is it keeps them from seeing how good they can get. Right? You could have the same, in fact, if you weren't going to do anything different, just stay off the range and just practice on the golf course only. There, I just saved half the world.
I was going to ask you that. Okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah. My daughter learned mostly on the golf course. Very little. The swing mechanics were bite-sized chunks. Very little. I have a YouTube, MG Golf, I think it is, for when she was 2 to 6. It's pretty cool. But anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, so the Practice Coach app was made for the golfer to practice much better. Like for my students, I know, you guys do this, or have you been practicing this way at home? So we made an app for it, right? If you hit the Practice Coach design, it'll just run your practice based on your recent performance, right? You can also use practice on your own, which you can decide what you want to practice.
Yeah. That's cool.
It'll blend this practice variability that everybody's missing from practice. It'll blend Will's algorithms on how many reps, what order, right, that this goes in. There's a work on my swing. If you want to work on your swing, number one, you better know why.
Yeah.
Right? Why do you want that? Why do you want to make that change? And you better know what it looks like, because you can forget about what it feels like. You know why? Because your feel's transient at best. So you know what it looks like. You better know how it is intended to alter, improve, hopefully, my club delivery, either face to path or contact. Right? Otherwise, don't do it. Yep. Don't do it to look like Adam Scott. Although Francine, my wife, says he needs to play with no shirt on, which is not false. So there is a work on my swing module, but you better be working on the right thing, because we're going to teach you how to learn it real good. Right? So, but then we go, okay, now we're going to hit the shot with it. Big difference. Normally it's just work on your swing. Well, those swing mechanics might not help me with my club face awareness.
Yeah.
So that's what it's based on, from short game to full swing and on-course practice, which is invaluable and never used correctly. On-course practice, on the real field. I don't care what you have for a putting green, a short game area. It doesn't look like a golf course. Then you get on the golf course and you go, okay, that's where we should practice an awful lot. So if I had my way, although Apple won't give us any data about how people are using the app, which is fantastic. That pisses me off. You should be practicing half of your damn practice time on the golf course.
Yes.
Right. So that's practicecoachgolf.com, and that's on the App Store. and skilledcoachingalliance.com, and that is for the coaches. But we
Hmm.
have a few parents in there too. They wanted to see how we do it, and I guess our philosophy and stuff. But
That's
that's about
awesome.
it. I am on Instagram, but I don't. It's just John Dunigan, I guess. I
Okay.
guess
Okay.
Facebook, I'm on that, but I don't look at that hardly ever.
Gotcha.
I just don't like social media. I'm sorry. I don't think it's good for us
Yeah.
at all.
Preach. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. The world needs to see
Everyone
what
should
the
be.
real world is rather than highly real.
Yes. Well, that's your whole philosophy. I mean, basically is be more real. Life is dirty, golf is dirty, and that's okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, John Dunigan, thank you so much. This was truly, truly a pleasure.
My friend, this was a pleasure. Hopefully we'll do this again before too long.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode with John Dunigan. Holy cow, man, I feel like I've just been on a good run lately of conversations I'm having that are just blowing my mind and leaving me with like questioning my whole golf existence. I don't know how healthy that is for me to have conversations with people that are constantly shifting the ground underneath me. But that's why I do this. I do this so that I can talk to people that are smarter than me and have different perspectives on things than I would, and might even disagree with things that I might say. So it challenges me, which I would imagine uh, by proxy challenges you. So you get to hear other voices and other people. So I hope my interest in this conversation with John comes right through into your ears or your eyes and allows you to be interested too, because this, I loved every second of what John was saying. And in this case, agree with everything he was saying, but the way that he was saying it and the things about golf swing specific stuff and getting your swing right and making it look good and your practice, how we tend to make our practice look nothing like the actual game, and we need our practice to to feel good and feel comfortable. We didn't talk about this, but we try to get our confidence from our practice being good and us hitting every shot perfectly, and we want to get to the end of the practice session and be hitting it good and have our swings look good, and we see that that's a sign of a good practice session. I've got confidence going into this next round of golf because I was hitting it good in my practice session. But what actually gives us confidence is failing a bunch in our practice and finding a way to work through it, process it, learn how to adapt from the failure. And like he was saying, learn how to use a golf club, not how to make a good golf swing, but how to use a golf club and how to adapt from errors and failure. So that concept is honestly personally challenges me personally, because that's my practice sessions. I try to like be hitting the ball well by the end. So that's going to change the way I practice. I need to find ways to make more errors when I practice. So this was awesome. So I loved this conversation with John. I'll have links to his stuff in the show notes. So go check out his app. Go check out the Skilled Coaching Alliance for you coaches out there. I know there's a bunch of you coaches. So I'll have the links to all of that in the show notes of this episode. All right. Thank you for being a listener and viewer of the Mental Golf Show. I'm Josh Nichols. Get out there, be okay with mistakes, play freely, have fun, and I'll catch you guys next time.